All right, so you're checking out Pismo Beach, California. I think it's wonderful, and so do a lot of people, but I think there are some reasons why you might want to avoid Pismo Beach. I know it's hard to believe, but I gotta tell you, there are some things you need to be aware of, and we're going to get to it, and we're going to get to it right now. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Vernice, and I'm a local real estate broker here on the Central Coast, California. I grew up here, raised my kids here, and I am still here. So in this channel, we talk about real estate, lifestyle, and everything in between, trying to help you figure out if this is the place that you might want to land. So we're getting calls from people just like you all over trying to get a hold of us via text, email, phone calls, whatever you need to do to get a hold of us, please do so, because we have your back when you're moving to the Central Coast, California. Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about Pismo Beach, California, and why you might want to avoid it. As crazy as it sounds, and as much as I love it, I know there are some things as a local person that I should probably share with you as you're exploring Pismo Beach and what it's got to offer. So I have lived in Pismo Beach myself, and I've mentioned this before in other videos, but Shell Beach, California is also part of Pismo Beach, and I've lived there as well. So that's a little bit more north of Pismo Beach, and it has a little bit of a different feel to it. But primarily we're going to focus on things that you need to be aware of as far as maybe not venturing over this way. Again, I've lived in Pismo Beach. My kids went to Shell Beach Elementary. It's one of my favorite spots. My gym's there at Pismo Beach Athletic Club. It is one of the tourist attractions on the Central Coast at California. It is a primary location that if you're looking into California and along the Central Coast or the coast of California, you will come across Pismo Beach, California. So we're going to break down 10 reasons. And the first one is that you will absolutely not see any snow here. So one of the reasons you might want to avoid Pismo Beach is if you are looking for some snow. So we have had some hail in the past, nothing really worth kind of mentioning, which I kind of am right now, but there is no snow. You're not going to see the four seasons in Pismo Beach. However, you will be able to drive to locations not too far from here, a 3-hour, 4-hour drive north or south of us. You can definitely get some snow, but for the most part, there will be no snow in Pismo Beach if you decide to live here. So if you're looking for that, it's not going to happen. Okay, so reason number 2 you might want to avoid Pismo Beach is that we have fog. There are gray skies, clouds, or a whole area of just that heavy, dense fog in the mornings when you're going to go for your walks on the beach or anywhere throughout Pismo Beach. You're going to see some layers of fog. It is part of the coastal influence living by the beach. So there are, some cons of the beach life. And so that's number 1, and that can mess up your psyche. Some people are like, oh my gosh, I need sunshine all the time. If you're coming from Arizona, those types of things, you just need to be aware that there is fog because of our coastal influence. So that might be a reason that you would not want to live in Pismo Beach, California. Okay, and because of that coastal grayness influence that we have here in Pismo Beach, and by the way, that coastal influence, that grayness will burn off and can burn off most of the days of the year, but just be aware of that. But this leads us to our reason number 3 that you might not want to move to Pismo Beach, is that those two things, the grayness and the coastal influence, causes what we have, these little critters called termites. We have termites in our area. It is a common thing. It's one of our bugs here. Every area has their critters, I guess. And so ours are termites. So termites are things little bugs that go into the wood, into your home. So if you're purchasing a home here in Pismo Beach, really anywhere on the Central Coast, you get what's called a termite inspection. And if it's live infestation right now where these guys are literally eating up your wood, then that's called Section 1 termite infestation. So that's generally an item that's provided in a purchase transaction here that you as the buyer and seller should provide to the potential buyer of what's going on with the termites on the property. So then there's also subterranean termites, which are underneath in the dirt that can come up. That's not super common, but it does exist. So termites are a thing here for us here on the Central Coast. Nothing to fret about. It's very common. There's dry wood infestation that, the wood just gets cut out because of the coastal influence. The wetness in the air causes that. And then obviously the termites themselves from eating the wood. So when these termites have done significant damage, or they're in the attic or something like that, or really infesting in the property, then you have a tent that you get a fumigation that's done all over the property. So that's a very common thing that you will see here is there's a big humongous tarp that literally goes over the whole property, the whole house. And that's a whole nother process. It's a 3-day process that takes place. And, that chemicals are put into, the house, and then they kill the bugs, and they come with a certain amount of years of a warranty. And that's part of our process here along the coast. Now, a word to the wise is that we are seeing that some vandalism is going on during those fumigations when the house is getting what we call tented. So that is something to be aware of. All throughout California, we're seeing this, that people are, kind of scoping it out. So some people are actually taking most of their valuables out of the home during the tenting and, securing your valuable items. So that's something a side note to be aware of as you're looking for purchasing a home here on the Central Coast, or if you're selling a property. That is definitely something that you should be aware of. But yes, termites are a thing, nothing to fret about, because we've got, companies in place that take care of this thing. It is something that we're very well aware of and can handle for you. So termites are a thing, and that might be a reason why you would not want to move to Pismo Beach. Okay, so our next reason why you might not want to move to Pismo Beach is there is apparently a crime situation here. We'll bring up the graph of the company that is indicating that we have a crime situation. I beg to differ. I will explain why. So I feel that we might be noted as a higher crime level situation, only because we do have tourism that comes up, and then we have a very popular, highly visited downtown Pismo Beach area. So I feel like that statistic can be a little convoluted because of our outside influence. So for your day-to-day living, I would say that if you ask the locals or the people that have been living here, we beg to differ on that point. But I just want to mention it. It is something it is being pointed out, and I thought I would just bring it up. You're always welcome to call the Pismo Beach Police Department. I tell most of my buyers to do their due diligence in any town that they're going to move into, as far as what's going on, what kind of activity is going on. I know that our chief of police has been very active in making sure that our communities are being watched and taken care of, and there's a lot of neighborhood watching. People are now volunteering to use their rings, their door things that are available to film and bring in footage of things are happening in certain neighborhoods. So there's a lot of community involvement in Pismo Beach for that type of a thing. But I just wanted to make you aware that has been noted as a local, because we do have a lot of tourism coming in, that you just have to use common sense, lock up your stuff. I mean, we're a big surfing community. So a lot during time of the shutdown, and we had a lot of outside visitors coming in, people were used to hanging up their wetsuits and leaving out their surfboards that are expensive items. And some of that was, disappearing. Again, common sense, lock your cars, especially when we're having events in the community. But that is just something to be aware of. Do your due diligence. Always look for the information that's important to you in that parameter of, doing your due diligence as you're exploring possibly moving to Pismo Beach. Okay, so our next item that we're going to bring up is that you might want to avoid living in Pismo Beach because of our climate. So if you're looking, again, like I said, said, for the 4 seasons, we're a very moderate climate throughout most of the year. So we're in the 70s, high 60s, very bearable climate temperatures. So that might not suit your lifestyle. So again, if you're looking during the winter to kind of cozy up and bring blankets or, cozy up with the fam, yeah, you'll do that to a certain extent, but it's not like a huge thing around the coastal area here in Pismo Beach. So you could be walking on the beach in the middle of December when you might have been used to, making a snowman outside. You're going to be making a sandcastle outside. So there is a difference in our climate. So just be aware that we don't have those 4 seasons. So wintertime, dead of winter, you're barbecuing outside, you're taking strolls alongside the beach in the Pacific Ocean. So just be aware that our climate is just a little bit more moderate than other areas. All right, friends, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're liking the information or are learning something. It motivates me to make some more videos. Please subscribe so you don't miss any future videos that we're doing for you. Hit that like button. It really helps other people just like you find the information. And then the third thing is, hit that bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Leave us a comment. We love hearing from you. Okay, so the next item that we want to make you aware of is that it can get windy. It can get windy here in Pismo Beach, and that might be a reason why you want to avoid living in Pismo Beach. So that comes up here and there. It's not like a persistent thing. However, it is persistent enough that if you are a kite surfer, windsurfer, looking for adventures on the water, you will definitely find that here. The wind picks up that intensely that we have a huge community here on the Central Coast, Pismo Beach, California, that you will see windsurfers alongside Pacific Ocean when the wind picks up and has that miles per hour going. Windsurfing can be a sport that you can take advantage of because of the winds. If you don't do that and you're just like a regular person trying to do outdoor activities, well, the wind picks up and it can be intense. So, you'll have to wear a beanie sometimes, and, it's piercing into your ears, and, the sand's all everywhere when you're walking alongside the beach. And again, that can stir up some allergies during the springtime. Is there a specific time during the year where the wind picks up? Some say it's just the spring. I say it is throughout the year. There's just times where I see windsurfers going strong, and it is a cool thing to see. They are lined up all the way from generally the Grover Beach entrance, where there's a restaurant called Finn's at the end of Grand off of the Pacific Coast Highway. Right there. You can sit at Finn's restaurant. I've sat there outside. It's an outdoor seating area, and you can see them going back and forth, catching some air, going up and down. It is a thing to see. So again, the wind picks up. It's good for some people and not so good for others. So just be aware of our windy seasons or times throughout the year in Pismo Beach. All right. So our next item, hands down, be ready for it, is we've got tourism. Tourism is a thing in Pismo Beach. So you might want to avoid living here if you cannot handle tourism. This is coming throughout the year. If you go to the Pismo Beach Chamber website, you can see all of the things that we have going on. Our neighbors from the Central Valley come over when it's scorching hot over there, and they just need to get a break from that. See them coming on the 3-day weekends. And then obviously our neighboring areas in the Bay Area, in the San Francisco area, or the Los Angeles, San Diego area, they come up here and get a break from that city life, and all the fast-paced things. Yes, we do have a lot of tourism because we have a lot of events that go on through the year. We have a car show that puts us on the map in California, where people literally buy real estate to house their cars for that car show. It's a big deal. That's one of the things. We are a big Portuguese community here. There's a Portuguese event that goes on, and that brings in a lot of people. We have the Clam Festival, Pismo Beach, home of the clams. So So all the restaurants participate in this. You get to taste all the clam chowder to your heart's desire. You buy tickets and you get to taste all the restaurants. Ada's usually wins. Splash Cafe that you see the long line downtown Pismo, they're usually in it and are the local favorite. So we've got these huge events that happen, and oh my gosh, the big one is obviously the 4th of July. We have fireworks off of the pier. I used to be able to just go on the pier back in the day and watch them there. Now you pay for tickets to get on the pier. The restaurants and hotels alongside the Pismo Beach coast right there. You've got Vespera. Vespera's been noted to be one of the #1 hotels in the area. You can literally walk out their area in the front and you'll be thrown right into downtown Pismo, the promenade. You've got Sea Venture that has the little hot tubs right there. They've got the roof, the blue roof over to, if you're facing the pier, it's going to be on your left-hand side. And then you've got in at the pier that's got the rooftop. You get some adult bevies up there and you can see the sunset. All those hotels were not there when I was growing up. And so now they're there. And of course, it's bringing in so much revenue for our area. So that is a big deal. So tourism is a thing here. You've got to prepare for it, for the infrastructure for when you're driving to and from your home, if you're deciding to perhaps live in Pismo Beach. And there's other videos that I have that also explore Pismo Beach and different areas that are not near downtown. So you can have those ocean views and you can enjoy the Pismo Beach lifestyle, but not be in downtown. Doesn't matter, because even the outskirts of Pismo, I've talked about another place called Pacific Estates, which is not downtown Pismo, but just a few minutes south of downtown Pismo. People park up the streets over there and can walk over easily over the 101 freeway alongside and get into Pismo and avoid the infrastructure when things are ending, big events are ending. So this is a big thing. There's a strategy to come to events from people from out of the area, and for us locals, a lot of the locals ride their bikes into downtown Pismo during the events, during the time that there's events going on that we want to come see. So anyways, there's just tourism. You got to be aware of it, part of our culture, our thing in Pismo Beach. So know if you want to live here, you got to pick the right spot so you can avoid it or be a part of it. Okay, so the next reason why you might want to avoid living here in Pismo Beach, if you are a homebody, if you like to be indoors all the time, this might not be the place for you. We have a lot of things for you to do here in Pismo Beach because of our climate. So again, you have hiking, you have cycling that you can do because of our weather and our climate being so moderate all of the year. If you are looking for that outdoor weather to kind of have you stay indoors, we're not the place for you, not Pismo Beach. Again, we have the kayaking, we have the outdoor surfing, the cycling that you can do. The cycling is very big here. We've had clients that have been on huge cycling tours because they're like professional cyclists. Our terrain is very much like Tuscany, and it is an attraction here too for that. So just know that if you're like a homebody indoor person, this area might not be for you because we're pretty sunny. You would probably have to get blackout curtains and things like that to just maintain your indoor homebody lifestyle. Okay, so another reason why you might want to avoid living here in Pismo Beach is that we are a slow-paced lifestyle. We don't have the nightlife, as we've mentioned before. Our traffic's a little bit slower. You live by the water, so there's just something very majestic about that, very calming, very soothing. As you're driving along the 101, you are looking at the ocean, you're getting sunsets that our skies are just beautiful throughout the year. So it just really calms everybody down. Our infrastructure just doesn't allow for a lot of heavy movement. The whole vibe in the Central Coast, Pismo Beach area, even with the tourism and the things that we're talking about, is still very slow paced. You can get up in the morning and go for your walks, which I do very often between 6:30, 7, 8 a.m. at the latest. It's very quiet. There's nobody on the beach. It's so tranquil and mentally soothing. So we just have that slow-paced lifestyle, and we just don't have high-paced things going on unless we have an event going on in town, or there's a big thing going on in San Luis Obispo, or we have the Mid-State Fair going on up in Paso. That seems to attract a lot of people, not only in North County, Paso Robles area, but throughout the whole coast. For the most part, it is a slow-paced lifestyle that might not suit you, and you just need to be aware of that. Okay, so here's our last reason that you might not want to live in Pismo Beach. You might want to avoid it at all costs, and that is that we are expensive. We are expensive for the cost of living. Pismo Beach is pretty prime in location and real estate. Pismo Beach, because of the hotels, has a lot of revenue that creates a lot of infrastructure improvement. Hotels that are alongside the coast just do very, very well for the area. And because of the views, because of, our clean air, our lifestyle, our everything like that, well, it kind of brings up the price and the cost of living. We are a big hospitality location, which, that doesn't pay as much as we would like it to. Although, it is a prime thing that brings in revenue, it's just where it's at. With that being said, I have always said, we are the most affordable housing on the Pacific, by the Pacific Ocean, on the Central Coast still. Even though we are California taxation, top taxation area, the state of California, even though the Central Coast has recently been discovered by many because of the need for, getting out of a high density area with what we went through the last couple of years, still very affordable for being by the Pacific Ocean. So if you really look at the numbers and look at the quality of life, if you look at what you can get in real estate and what possibilities are around this available to you here in the Central Coast, it might not seem expensive, especially if you're coming from other areas, or if you've experienced intense weather climates and are just tired of it and you can see what we have to offer here. That might not be an issue for you. I just wanted to make you aware of that, and that is just a thing that's been noted in the past. And so just making sure that you're aware of that fact here in Pismo Beach. Okay, friends, so the only way that we can help you find that sweet spot here on the Central Coast is you've got to reach out. Day, evening, weekends, it does not matter, because we have your back when you're moving to the Central Coast. So until the next video, we will catch you later.